Okay, I think we're live again, and hopefully YouTube won't fall over this time. This time it says excellent connection, so hopefully we're all right. Okay, don't know how much information was lost, but this merchant adventurer's butler has come to pick them up from the house, and they're on the way now to his place. Okay, so you step out of the house, lock up. The butler leads the way, and is leading you on quite a brisk and lengthy walk through the city, passing by the stinking canals and the many other people who are out enjoying the day. Though you live in one of the poorer districts, so
What?
I know it's all you could afford.
Ah,
It's better than nothing, guys.
the image of where we lived suddenly just degraded instantly.
you have you have a night you have a nice house in a shitty area.
I was imagining this
What
like
do you mean?
really nice place, and then when you said that, it suddenly turned into like a slum.
But it's a very wealthy
mean a
city, so even the slums look pretty good to you.
When you mean a shitty house in a shitty house in a nice area, there you go.
Yeah. You're basically fantasy hipsters. You've moved into the area. You've bought up a house.
Wait,
Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
Oh, are we doing that again today? Is it every day? I don't know.
Once a week.
Okay.
Can you hear the boats blowing their horns?
Maybe. Or ring their bells or something. Anyway, right. So the butler leads you. It's quite a long way. He's taking you to the Brasenose district, or the Brasenose quarter. Caesaurus put some legwork in learning about the city, so he knows that this. If you've got a nice house in a not particularly great area, the Brasenose quarter is kind of like the very low end of the noble quarter of the wealthier district.
Just like the theater.
So the butler leads you around to the back, and unlocks the door and leads you in.
Tradesman's entrance.
Yep. But as he goes to open the door, it pulls itself in, and an old man in sort of slightly shabby servant's clothes sort of comes out with a sack over his shoulder and grumbles, "Out of the way, you lickspittle."
Good day to you as well.
My erstwhile master awaits you inside. He snaps at you. You think he's from Albion. But before I go, be warned, he surely has some harebrained scheme that can bring you only hardship and woe. He's so far gone out of his wits, he just dismissed me, and I've been with the family for years. He grumbles and passes on.
Do you want a job here, friend?
Yes,
What are you good at doing?
General Steward and Dog's Body, sir.
but
We've got
we were
to
just
another
talking
steward.
about we needed a steward.
Yes, we do. Yes.
You could work for us.
Yeah, I've not seen no problem with that.
10 florins a month, sir.
Sounds about fine by me.
And your address?
Celine?
Yeah, the,
Yeah.
5123 Spake Street.
I shall I shall make my way there immediately, sir. Today is looking up, but mark my words. Do not get involved with my old master. He's lost his mind. He shifts the sack on his shoulder and, whistling more cheerily, makes his way off. The butler looks embarrassed for a moment and says, this man, he also work here, but he bad, and he is how you say, whole of the bottom.
Bottom.
Asshole. He is asshole. Pay him no mind. My master, he is a good man. Please, in.
Sounds like your type, Zora. Hey.
I'll just stare at him with my mask on and say, "You want to look at the face of death? Do you? Do you? Do you want to look at the face of death? I'm quite happy to show you the face of death if you don't behave."
Right. So yeah, you head on in. The butler announces you, and you get your first look at his master. The house didn't look that grand outside, but this sort of entrance hall is all very clean, spick and span. You know, everything's shiny and new looking. And the merchant appears, Milano. He's wearing scarlet hose, thick overrobe, bordered with Minerva, a peaked cap, and a doublet of black velvet with slashed sleeves that show a blaze of red silk beneath. He's clearly spent a lot of money on his appearance. It's an important thing around here, it would seem. Hello, Sir Alain Becker Aikukan and Cisora of Megov, yes?
See,
Indeed. And
Word of your deeds has travelled even here to the continent. And good for me, since I hope to employ you to help me.
as I was saying, that we are definitely looking to be employed. Although it depends on what the task at hand happens to be.
The business goes better with vino and food. My cook, I had to fire them. So perhaps we should go to Taco Varucci. It's a good eating house, just a few streets away. Shall we?
Indeed. You seem to be firing quite a lot of your staff lately.
Hard to get good men. There are spies everywhere, and as you will discover, I have much to hide.
Oh yes, I killed a spy once, didn't I, said Elaine, with this very sword. Cut him into small pieces. Sir Bjorn the spy.
Good. See, this is what I will be paying you for. Come. He leaves the butler behind and leads you out again into the street for another bracing walk.
do we go out the back door this time or the front door?
The front door this time.
Thank you.
He fills the time with small talk, but did you want to ask him anything before you settle down to business?
So what are your trade-off, my lord?
This, that, the other, whatever makes a profit. I specialize in high-risk, high-reward ventures.
So basically, you're like a fixer then. You hire people to do your doing and bidding.
Somewhat. The old trading families here are very hidebound and caught up with each other. For a young merchant from a smaller family, such as myself, you have to take risks.
I agree. Yeah.
You get to Taco Varucci's, which is, as he said, a rather nice eating house, sort of above your normal sort of level. When he opens his purse, he seems to count every single coin in it before he gives any to the staff, and babbles away in the local language about food and gives them a few more coins. And then he finds you all a table with some privacy in a booth. Goes and gets a couple of bottles of wine and some goblets and rejoins you.
Well, when he leaves the table, I should say he counted his money.
And
The guy's broke. He's flat broke. Well, why do you count your money in a restaurant?
suppose. Wait, but if he's broke,
Anyway.
how would he pay us?
You better not be paying us in kind.
IOUs, perhaps. Hugs. Pay you in hugs. Anyway, he returns with a couple of bottles of wine and the goblets, sets them all out, fills them all to the brim, raises his goblet. To business.
I nod.
Slange.
I raise the goblet to business.
Clink. Right. And he drains his cup in one go and slaps it down.
Yeah, I do the same.
Aha! You have spirit.
Does anybody else drink the wine?
Oh yeah.
I'll bring my hood down, take my mask off, and down it and turn the glass upside down.
I think Sir Alain is the only one of you who's really that used to wine at all. So it's a kind of new experience for people who normally drink small beer and cider.
And mead.
Oh, and mead, yeah. Okay. Here is the plan. I have spent the last few months over on the uncharted continent of Mungoda. I travelled up the Mungoda River to trade with the natives there. I made just the one trip, and it took many months. This time, I think we can do faster. I discovered that the natives could gather large quantities of gold from other tribes upriver. I've asked them to get more, and I will return to trade our goods, which seem strange and exotic to them, in exchange for the gold. We will see what they have there. But they're not too clever. I got, for a topaz and silver hat pin, I got this from them. He reaches into his belt pouch, undoes a padlock on it, and takes out a battered gold artifact in the sort of vague shape of a skull, as big as a hen's egg, and sets it down on the table with a thump. On one transaction, I make a profit of more than 1,000 matapans. 100 crowns in your money.
How much is that in florins?
A matapan is roughly equivalent to a florin, so yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Here, you keep this as proof of faith, and you come with me, you help me get more gold, you protect me, and for every month you are in my service, we'll give you another 500 matapans. And a 20th of the profits to share between you.
That seems
20th between
reasonable.
us.
Yes. 1/20th between all of you. After all, I have financed the expedition, I have laid the groundwork. But it was dangerous. I was nearly killed by lizard men. There are pirates, there are always pirates. So many problems, and not all the natives are friendly.
Lizard men.
After that trip, I paid all my debts, and I only had enough left, really, to set up the new venture and to pay you this down payment. But
Mental note. I suppose that's why he was counting his florins when buying the meal.
But I assure you, there is gold beyond imagining on Mungoda.
You said that they would buy worthless trinkets for gold. What trinkets are these?
I have filled the hold of the ship with porcelain and minor jewellery.
Did we actually get his name this time?
Yes. Milano. What's his last name? Where is it?
Fiorenska.
Yes, Milano Fiorenska.
Milano
Right.
Fiorenza. Yeah.
Before we out for the bigger of wealth beyond wealth, I'll put my feelers out to find out if I can find any more information on this.
Now that you have his name. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not paying a lot and I'm not paying a little. I'm paying the what I see is enough information to satisfy my interest.
Okay. What's your perception?
For an assassin, it's pretty low. 9.
No, because it goes against stealth, so that's not actually
right.
that low.
Okay. Myself 20.
You what? Sorry.
Myself is 20 and my perception's 9.
Okay. Right. Yeah. So you spend a few days asking around. Milano he belongs to a sort of lower rank of a fairly actually influential family called the Senfriti. By the merchants here, he's not very rich. When you ask around, apparently he's squandered his inheritance on silly ventures. That's the story you get sort of from the more upper classes and from the other sort of spies and servants.
Yeah.
But down towards the docks, you hear a different story. The sailors seem to think fairly highly of him. Their side of the story is that he's been deliberately stifled by rivals in high places, that the higher-ups in his own family and in other families have done everything they can to make things difficult for him.
So basically, he's been given a challenge to prove his family's name by starting off with one with the ladder, basically.
It seems more like this is a part of a sort of pattern of behaviour. He will go after really sort of wild and crazy ideas and long shots because it's been made so difficult for him to get ahead any other way.
I'm happy with that. You can try this differently. You'll get played in. Yes.
It's risking our potential pay as well by sort of helping him.
But he's more likely to succeed. So
Yes. Okay. Maybe we should take our our companions with us.
Why, you scared they're going to have a house party behind our back?
Let's cut them out of the deal. Let's leave without them.
Oh, did we ever find out about his moon dog teeth? Are they enchanted or special in any way?
There's residual magic on them, but that's really it.
I better go buy a princess or a prince for one of these. Hey,
A low-level sorcerer, someone might be interested in them. Perhaps can do something with them. But
sorry.
well, I think I have all the equipment that I need really, except for food and water.
yeah, which we can
That'll be
supply.
provided.
So.
Yep, I'm good.
Can I change my horse's name from Blag to Phantom, James?
You can indeed. It's a horse that
Thank
doesn't
you.
care about such things.
Yeah, as long as it gets fed and watered and looked after, that's the main.
Yeah.
Did I lose my warhorse between? Oh no, I didn't.
No.
I still have.
But you can't really take the horses with you.
No.
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 Okay, so a week passes reasonably swiftly. The steward seems to be good. He seems to know his stuff, though he's a bit old. So he and the other adventurers who are left behind can look after the house and a few other kinds of wealth and inquiry. And then you go to meet Milano's ship with the tide. The ship is called the Pantokratos Fist. It's a medium-sized cog. Fairly low with all the goods it's carrying. There's about 20 men on the crew. Milano introduces you to the captain, Hieronymus Vant, a free man from Asmulia. He's pretty sort of gruff and terse, and doesn't particularly care. He seems to view you more as cargo than anything else. It's his job to get Milano there, and your job to protect him once you do get him there. So is there anything else I need to worry about here? Okay, there is one free cabin, which can conveniently enough hold 3 people, though it's a bit cramped. So yeah, you won't have to go downstairs and sleep with the crew, which is good.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yep. Stow your gear in your sea chests, and yeah. They cut themselves off from the dock and set partial sail until they're out of the way of the vessels, and then full sail. Milano and the captain look over their charts and argue back and forth in the local, which you don't speak yet. It seems to be a mated discussion, but since at least Milano has made this journey before, he seems to be, and that's the one financing it, he seems to be the one largely in charge. But the captain puts his foot down about a couple of things, you're just not sure what.
Seems like normal sort of behavior.
Yep. How are you going to spend your time on board? Because you're going to be travelling for some time.
Are we expected to work, or are we literally passengers?
You can work if you want to. You're just being paid to defend Milano.
Seems. I suppose if I'm going to at least a bit of my time, maybe sort of like teach a couple of the people who are willing a few fundamentals of fighting.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and see if I can learn the lingo.
Yeah. Yeah, you can pick up a few words, mostly swear words.
Or
Nothing.
if we're all going to be in this together, we better each have our own backs. You need to know how to fight.
I know how to fight.
And how's Becca going to spend her time?
I think I might practice some seamanship. Really, I think chandlery.
Yeah.
Rigging.
Yeah. I mean, you're a strong lass and a big lass, so they're actually glad of the help, and you sort of making yourself useful ingratiates you with the sailors. Many of whom start making passes at you.
I'm not going to pull the. I'll pull the red Sonia card. I'll say, "You got to beat me first. You got to beat me first, Sunbeam." It's not going to happen, is it?
Oh God!
Sonya, that's Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah,
he briefly appears in it. Yeah.
Prince Palador.
Yeah, though it's also Brunhilde, if you want to be more about it, who wouldn't sleep with anyone who couldn't beat her. So.
Oh God, I've just had the music of Red Sonja in the back of my head playing. Stop that. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay.
Yeah, so on a more serious note, in my, so are these sailors all worth their salt, and it's all a good crew and going untoward?
It's a good crew. They all seem to know what they're about, and there's a ship's doctor and a ship's chaplain as well. Should you have call for either of them, but yeah, they seem to know what they're about, and seem to be enthused about Milano's mission. You're about 6 days out, starting to get a little bit twitchy, when a huge cog about 2, maybe 3 times the size of your vessel appears on the horizon and gradually begins to draw closer.
I don't like the look of that. You know, why would a ship be approaching us from so far away? You think they could be pirates? I mean, he did mention there were pirates on these waters.
Isn't this a trading route?
That would be why there would be pirates.
I'll see if I can find a telescope or binoculars or something to see if I can zoom in and see its colours.
I'll alert the captain if he hasn't already noticed.
Aye, we see him. Let's just wait till we get a better idea of who they are. The lookout, the cabin boy up in the crow's nest has the telescope, so you'll have to climb up there if you want to borrow it.
No problem, I'll do that.
What's your reflexes?
Ooh, 16.
Okay, no problem. You climb up all the netting pretty easily. Get up to the top. The cabin boy sat there looking out with the telescope. He hands it over to you. Several of the crew move in and try to attack these guys. Okay. The one Becca cleaved falls underneath the blades of several of the crew, sort of hacking and smashing at him. But the body just evaporates into green vapor and disappears. Next turn. Scizora. Scizora's turn. You there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Just reload your crossbow? Or...
Yep, reloading the baby.
Okay. Right. Alain?
Oh, terrible pain. The guy who just threw me halfway across the ship into... what's he up to at the moment?
He's at the base of the mast looking up.
I don't want to deal with him anymore. I'm gonna run over to Becca and attack the one that she's dealing with from behind.
Okay. Take 8 away from your attack and roll.
Come on, I want to hit this time. Attack is 20. Big way 8. No, I miss again.
Okay. So you come hurtling up behind him, but he twists and blocks you and then turns back towards Becca. It's Becca's go.
Right, if there's a lot of sailors around, I want to do a big full-blooded swing. I'll try a stab this time instead.
Okay. Take 8 away from your attack. Go for it.
Oh, that's 12. Yes, just.
Okay. Roll to bypass armor.
Oh, 4.
Okay. Yeah. You stab forward, it glances off the breastplate of his armor, failing to penetrate. Right.
If we attack the same person, it reduces their defense, doesn't it?
Yeah, they have to split it.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Right. the big guy, the leader, starts to climb, holding his two-handed sword in one hand and climbing with his other limbs. So he's making his way up the mast. And the guy you were attacking tries to lay another blow on Becca, sliding his blade up yours and then twisting it at the end to try and cut into you sideways. What's your defense?
13.
Okay. Yeah, sparks fly off your blades in purple and green as magic hits magic. It slides up, but doesn't manage to cut into you. It just sort of hits into your chainmail where it's over the shoulder and grinds against it without penetrating. Next turn, Scizora.
Shooting at the big guy again.
Okay. Take 7 away from your attack and roll.
Okie dokie. 2.
So that's a hit. Roll to bypass armor.
8.
And roll damage.
7.
7. Okay. Right. The bolt hits into him, and the soft part of flesh between his shoulder and his chest and penetrates. He sort of reels in pain, and the version of him that's climbing up disappears in a flash.
Excellent.
Leaving just the one. Elaine.
I'm going furious that I keep actually not hitting anything, and just grab my sword with both hands and try to swing it down on top of his head.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it. Take 8 away from your attack and roll.
I hit, finally.
Yay!
Roll to bypass armor.
Get past armor.
Houston, we have takeoff.
1.
So that's no.
Oh.
Right. So you drive your blade down with both hands, smacks into his armor with a loud clang, sort of knocks him down slightly onto one knee. Becca.
I'm going to follow up.
Yeah.
11 as a hit. Yeah.
Roll to bypass armor.
8. Yeah.
Yep. And roll damage.
7 hits.
Okay. So the pair of you just sort of raining blows down on him, sort of forcing him down, staggered more. Becca's blade cleaves into the shoulder, splits the metal, and bites into the flesh underneath. But he's still there and hasn't dissipated yet. Okay, next turn. Scizora, reloading again.
Last crossbow bolt, unless I've been stocked up with crossbow bolts before I came out.
You have not. So reloading.
Yep.
Elaine.
Again.
Continue raining blows. All right, take 8 away from your attack.
She turned the sword around and try and club him with the pommel. That's a legitimate technique.
Yep.
It is, yeah.
It doesn't work though. As seen.
Becca.
Oh, fucking hell.
Let's finish off this guy. Yeah. What was my dice? Yeah. 3. Yeah, as a hit.
Okay. Bypass armor.
8. Yep, as a wound.
And damage.
11. Decapitation, death blow.
Well, the final blow cleaves through the top of his helmet, sort of down most of the way into his skull, and the body dissipates. Right. That seems to be everything that's on board. You hear a drum begin to beat and hear oars in the water.
I'm sort of, looking over to the boat that's assumed in the distance, and trying to call out and say something, but instead I'm just going to cough up blood into my helmet. Someone, you've got to go after them.
Yeah, they're sailing away, leaving you to it now.
Was the third one gone?
His controller was disrupted, so he disappeared. That's who Cesora was shooting at. So all three have disappeared. We can't catch them so long as they're rowing and there's more warriors on there. I wouldn't want to tangle with them, says the captain. Lick our wounds and carry on.
Yeah.
Where is Francesco?
Are you alright?
We survived. At least I can say that.
Come, rest in your cabin. I'll have the doctor take a look at you.
Did you know about these things?
I knew there would be pirates, perhaps. Not that they would attack us. Not that they would attack us here.
But that they had used magic?
No. This I did not know. Yeah, so you can take to your beds. You can heal up 4 of any lost health over the next few days under the tender ministrations of the doctor. And in that time, while 2 of you are laid up, really, the ship navigates the Gulf of Marazid, is sailing southwards along the coast towards the Mungoda estuary. And then, just to add insult to injury, a storm rolls in like a shroud across the sky. A rough swell soon turns into high waves that threaten to swamp the ship. Sheets of flickering lightning crash between the clouds, illuminating the pale and terrified faces of the sailors. That's not something that really instills any confidence in you if the sailors are upset. Things rapidly go from bad to worse, and the captain staggers along the deck, holding the rail for dear life, to come to you and at your cabin. The wind's shifting, a westerly gale. It's flinging us back out to sea. Take to your cabin, strap yourselves down, maybe tie yourself to something that floats.
Starting to hate being on a boat.
Boats suck. Another day and another night pass, so you can have a point of health back just from natural healing. And it takes that long for the storm to finally abate. The crew are exhausted. And just finally, when the dawn rises and the storm subsides, the bedraggled ship keeps on going, and the men just sort of collapse against the railings and get some breath for once. In the light of the new day, the crew take stock of the damage. Some kegs of wine that were not tied down securely have gone over the side. Only one of the sailors is missing, praise God. The sky is still suddenly overcast, but there's a glimpse of sunrise that lets you all get your bearings, and the captain and Milano pore over the charts in sort of council with you. We're far out in what the Tashim sailors call the deeps of Raskana, the captain. We must make repairs even though everyone's exhausted. We'll organise shifts. Now you men, he says, pointing to some of the crew, get on, and then he stops in mid-sentence and just points out to sea. What's that?
Yeah, what is he pointing at?
You turn and you look. Following his gaze and the line of his pointing, you see a tall pinnacle touched by a single shaft of pink sunlight. Is it land? An island? The captain snaps orders. We'd be better off making land while we make repairs. And the crew gets the ship limping towards this thing. Milano seems even more nervous after the pirate attack and the knights that he wasn't expecting. Yeah. Maybe put your armor on, Sir Elaine.
I try to wear my armor as often as possible. Always be ready for battle.
Good man. He paces around nervously as the ship limps towards this thing, but there's nothing any of you can really do except watch as it slowly gets bigger and bigger.
I'll go to my second home, the crow's nest, and see if I can have a look at the telescope, see if I can zoom into it.
You see, and then the rest of you see a short time afterwards, well, a reasonable amount of time afterwards. It's a tower made of coral that rises straight up out of the ocean depths, with a sort of slight conical rise of island around it. It's a staggering sight, especially as the coral gives off the strange impression of having grown to form the tower, rather than being cut or piled or worked. Buttresses of coral jut out from the sides, forming 4 harbours. Your ship could dock at one of them. Captain and Milano call you back. This thing is unnatural, but...
You know what happened last time we accepted food from an old man in a cave?
Well, I mean, the thing is, if this fellow was an archmage, he could kill us anytime he wants.
That is true.
So let's just, let's assume that he's not going to kill us and eat his food.
Hello.
Okay, so are you inviting the captain and the rest of the crew in?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, they seem a little wary at first, but then once they see the food and drink, they're grateful for it. Something fresh. It's nice to have.
Typical Italians.
Are you guys eating and drinking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Restore all your lost health.
Woo.
If there's any still remaining lost.
Well, for a change, I'm not actually down to any health. I'm actually enjoying this food.
Yeah, so he talks with Milano, he talks with the captain, he seems to take the time to talk to every single person in the crew. He's interested in everything, the smallest bit of politics or news or anything from the surface and far away. He doesn't seem to be acting with any sort of ulterior motive of any kind.
He doesn't look like the guy Ben from The Spy Who Loved Me, who had that underwater face.
No, he doesn't look like him.
Thank God for that.
At the end of the feast, Ajan stands and snaps his fingers, but it makes a sound like a thunderclap. So you're deafening. If I might crave your attention for a moment. I do not see people often. It has been tiring and wearing, but also wonderful. And in exchange for the news that you have brought me, I wish to give those of you of rank a gift. He claps his hands, and the bears reappear, carrying parcels, which they hand out to the captain, Milano, and each of you. Now, I must retire. Please finish feasting, return to your vessel, and I wish you all the best on your journey, for it is a quest for knowledge. And he bows again.
I'll raise my glass and say, to your good health, my friend, and thank you for your hospitality.
He nods to you again and makes his way out. So you each have a package.
How big is this package?
They are different sizes. So
Well, how big is my package?
Your package... it's quite small. It fits on your palm.
Oh, isn't that sweet? What's it wrapped up in, may I ask? Is it like fabric or
It's
seaweed?
it's wrapped in what appears to be seaweed, but it's like crepe paper.
Okay, I'll use a dagger or something to prise it open.
Okay. So inside there's a small box that's got a couple of barnacles on it. And when you pop it open, there is a silver chain with a polished sort of lozenge of pink coral.
Pretty.
And you can sense some sort of enchantment coming off it.
I'll wait and see what the others have got in their boxes to see if they open up their seaweed.
Okay. Basically, you've got an amulet that can heal all your wounds and any poison or disease damage that you've taken once, and then it crumbles.
There's a one-trick pony then.
Yep.
Okay.
Sir Elaine.
Still suspicious of highly on edge, but at least have a look at what is inside.
Your package contains a rather nasty-looking dagger. The handle is a bone, and it terminates in a skull, and the blade is black.
Swap you, sir.
Very tiny skull.
I'll swap you.
You sense magic coming off it, and you believe that if you drive the blade into a corpse, it will raise as a skeleton.
That's just the first thing that comes into my head.
Yep,
Definitely.
Weirdly enough. And Becca.
That's a nice potty trick, that.
Okay. Yours is a ring of iron, though it doesn't seem to have rusted at all. And when you hold it, it's almost like you can hear a horse, sort of panting and neighing and braying and scraping at the ground with its hooves. So you think it must summon some sort of unnatural steed.
It's a seahorse. Yay!
You gonna change my name to was it Azriel or Aurora or what's her name?
Fuck. Can't remember.
You're talking about the Little Mermaid, aren't you?
Yeah.
Ariel.
Ariel. Yeah.
Yeah.
My son would tell you that if he was here.
Well, these are splendid gifts, no mistake, aren't they? No mere baubles.
It's a shame the one-trick ponies.
Don't get greedy.
I'm still, but I am willing to swap with you, Tin Man. This is a healing necklace. I believe that it may be able to heal you if you wear it.
Well, hang on a minute there. Whoa.
What?
Now, call me old-fashioned, but you shouldn't be looking a gift horse in the mouth, should you? A gift given freely should be accepted with grace.
Yeah. Re-gifting clearly goes against the rules of chivalry.
Oh, you're so old-fashioned, Jane. You're so old-fashioned.
Well, I don't know. Does Sir Elaine want his evil necromantic dagger of
That's true. Does not seem like the sort of thing that a knight should get involved with.
Well, if you guys want to swap, that's fine. Yeah.
Just I'm worried about Sir Elaine's wound, that's all.
Fine, we'll swap.
Okay. This is when the building starts falling to bits. Indiana Jones time. Fuck!
Okay, so you all done? You all happy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we swapping then, Jack?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take. Is the dagger in a sheath, James? Is the dagger in a sheath?
Yes, it comes with a little black leather sheath.
Right. I'll put it to the right. So basically, I've got my sword to the left, my stabby dagger on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. When the morning rolls around, everyone slept and somehow forgot to put a man on watch. But when you awake in the morning, the ship is entirely repaired, good as new. But the tower has disappeared, and you just seem to be in the middle of a calm patch of ocean.
Magic. Can't trust it.
Frickin' magic. Right. Once the captain and Milano get their bearings, you're another couple of weeks at sea before espying shore. You sail up the mouth of the Mungoda River through the estuary and further up the river until it starts to get too broad and too shallow for the cog. But that is where you arrive at the town of Paru. Paru is a large, sprawling town about 100 miles up the Mungoda estuary, so you were travelling up there for quite some time. There's no problem reaching it. The river's deep enough, at least up to that point, possibly even deeper. And the town lies on the fringes of swamplands and jungle. And the town consists of a whole bunch of bamboo huts built on stilts out over the river, with plank walkways connecting them one to another. A lot of the planks are made from bound together bamboo as well, so sort of as you're sailing up and passing by some of these buildings, you see people running across them and the whole plank bouncing like crazy. Ugh, you don't like the look of that. So the ship eventually comes to a halt, weighs anchor, and the crew start to make their way off onto shore, carrying goods with them.
Thank God we're on dry land.
Yeah, you're waving from side to side as though the ground was shifting. And yeah, it's going to take you a while to get your land legs back.
Yep.
I, for one, feel much relieved to finally be on stable ground.
Terra firma.
What a dump.
Milano seems to have found an old friend here. They're exchanging a lot of hugs and handshakes and so on.
And kisses and cuddles and blah blah. Bloody Italians.
Friends, come.
Yes.
This is Imbi, he says, and gestures to the man. The man is very, very black, with intricate scars on his cheeks, but he's dressed in a fashion not too dissimilar to the clothing that you wear. So clearly he's some kind of interface between the traders from the continent and the people here.
Lord.
So he's basically like the chieftain spokesperson for them.
Yeah. Good to see my friend returned and in such company. I've used up all my racism on the Italians, so I'm not going to bother with an accent for the natives.
Hey, speaking the language. Hey, get a casa.
Baba da boopy. Come, Milano and your friends. Let the crew unload everything. Let us drink and eat and come. Yeah, so Imbi tries to sort of hustle you along to his home.
Yeah, this is when he's got a palace made out of bamboo.
Well, it is basically just a much larger hut. On the stilts, lifted up from the ground. The inside is a weird mix of sort of local tribal arts and crafts and things, and some more familiar furnishings and bits and pieces. some of it's a bit incongruous, like a metal eating knife has a sort of pride of place hook on the wall where one of you might put a jeweled sword or a magic blade or something. So while they might have a lot of gold on this continent, clearly they haven't yet completely mastered steel.
Just goes to show you can at least try to civilize these people, at least somewhat.
Yes. No, what time is it? This is about This is about halfway through the adventure. So do you want to keep going for a bit, or do you want to stop here and then pick up the next session?
Halfway through the adventure seems like a good stopping point. If you think it is exactly halfway through, yeah.
It's pretty much. I mean, there's less detail in the second half, but it's much more action oriented.
That's cool.
I reckon it'll be, if we stop now, it'll be about as long for the next session to wrap up. Is everyone okay with that then?
Yeah.
I'm sort of falling, losing concentration, falling asleep actually. So it's good for me as well.
That works out. All right, so that's a good place to stop for now.
Yep, that's fine.
Right, I'm sorry about the condition of the internet. I don't know what's been going wrong there, but it seems to have sorted itself out now. But I've recorded the session, so I'll try and put that up at some point. All right.
Who'd you have the internet with, James?
Sky at the moment, I think.
Because I use iTalk, and I only pay £20 a month. £22 a month. I get unlimited internet and 3 calls during the weekend.
Yeah, we got some kind of special deal through the because we get the TV and everything. Anyway, I don't think it's our internet because everything else has been fine apart from YouTube. So I think it's just YouTube. Right, next session Saturday, hopefully. So yeah, let me know if you're free and available soon as.
I should be free, James.
Cool.
I don't know about the other.
And otherwise, I'll see people later.
Okay.
Cheers.